Here should be kind of a fun video here. I've never done one of these before. This is December 2nd, 2018. This is the first truck build I ever attempted to do. I'm just watching my old video of it. I had a CR12 model parts to make it run, and it didn't have any power in the back axle. It's just these two. So it would have been like a 6x4. Looking underneath, it had all around strapping and tape filled with foam to take up the gaps, and I had epoxy plastic chunks in. I think this is probably right here on the back there was because I hadn't had a drive shaft long enough to connect the two yet. And yeah, that was the first one I ever did. I think I got another video here somewhere. One second. Here we go. Basically, would have been around this time here. Oh, here's the one. 4,500 people watched this video as well. So yeah, that was quite a while back.
Okay, this is a video of my brooder.
That was it done.
I used a CR12.
There it is now.
Ford truck.
I attributed it.
Over to RC. I chose it because
I found a box, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, and I decided that I really wanted to kind of do a video of the first thing I did and bring it back to life again. This one's got full suspension. It's just rear wheel powered. Has a Injora front axle for the front, but it's got an L16 in the back. The box dumps up, and yeah, I've come a long way in that amount of time. But yeah, I wanted to kind of go back and revisit it and sort of show the difference between back then and where I am now with things. And yeah, it's great to see it back again, and kind of how I was intended it to be in the first place. Painted up the wheels last night as well, and did a little bit of a test dump with a box of nails and stuff, and well, like a smaller container nails that lifted it no problem. So I'm going to might bring out the old Huina, I think, actually, and do up a video of these two working together like it was when I first started. But yeah, here's the first part of it there, and I'll get back with some more stuff in a bit. Alright, here's a little bit more further on here. Thought I'd just try a bit of a weight challenge on this thing, how much I can lift on it. I got just over 3 pounds right there of lead weight. So I'll pop that puppy in there. Maybe I'll put it up top there and see how that does, because the actuator is actually a bit more further back there, so maybe a bit more to overcome a force there. Yeah. Perfect. Lifting that up nicely. The reason it pulled like that is because when I did the first conversion on this truck, this is a different truck obviously altogether now, but I knocked out a little hole here, and I put the actuator linearly because I just didn't know what I was doing at the time, and I was using it to push against the toy plastic ram that was in here. So in doing so, I ended up actually cutting the little mounting bracket on this actuator off, and it just totally ruined it. I was like, well, it's going to be hard to use it for anything. So I eventually ended up 3D printing a piece that I made a gasket that fit the inside of this, and then it came out, and I reprinted a handle to go around it. But I kept it kind of big because I didn't know how big I needed to make it at the time. So I might just putting something in there to kind of help stop that from kicking out a little bit. But I was able to salvage this L16 actuator. It's a 50 mil stroke one too, which is good, and I was able to use it again. So this thing is lifting 3 pounds, no problem. Got a nice bit of turn there, forwards, backwards, just like she ought to do. The only thing I'd like to do actually is I cut these old the old mud flaps off of it for the front, because I was wanting to try and put them back on. The one thing I think I noticed is when you look at it with the cab down, it always looks like the front wheel's sticking way further forward, but in actuality, like when you put that flap on there, it's actually centered pretty good in between. Can't see my hand in the way there. But so I was thinking about maybe just trying to, I don't know, I don't think I'm going to be able to use these. I might try and make something a little bit thinner too, just so that gives me a little bit more clearance for turning as well, because I had to knock the mounting point off there to get that turn as well. So that, those came out, but yeah, super happy with it. And another thing too it might do is I noticed when I dropped the box, this little piece right in here actually covers the exhaust stack. So I might just cut those little pieces out just for detail. I guess I'm going to paint it at some point, but to be honest with you, I almost kind of want to leave it just because of, you know, what it means to me as a build to have come back to and done, you know, so much time later on. So I might actually just leave it and not even bother painting it in all honesty. Yeah, just awesome to see it kind of be how I originally intended it to be such a long time ago, and really happy to have it back in the collection like this. I think so. I think I'm going to be good to go with it. I'm not sure yet, but one thing I've been kind of playing around with is the thought to get some power up into the front wheels of these models. So I actually might leave the rear wheel assembly that I have going, and then I might try and go with some of the smaller motors, but the 200 RPM ones as well. And then that way I can power the front wheels, have a smaller axle, and I don't have to redesign anything I've got in the back, because I like my rear suspension setup. I think it's pretty good, but I'd really like to just get some front wheel power on it, just so if I'm pulling anything behind it, it gives me that little extra. I was thinking about last night making a pup for this, like a truck and pup, which would have been cool. But if I'm going to do that, I think in reality I need to either have rear wheel power, and if I really wanted it to be an awesome, quite a powerful unit, I was actually even thinking about powering the wheels on the pup as well, and then that would make it like, that would make it awesome. Then it would be like a 10 by 10 and then I think this thing would have no problems going any place. But yeah, it'd be nice to be able to tow something behind it and not have it pull down. You know, when I'm going over some basic stuff, I'd like to be in the dirt a little bit with it. So yeah, that's kind of where I was kind of thinking with that, was to get some front wheel power into it. It's going to make a big difference. Yeah, just have fun with it. So here's the blue Mack truck back from a 3-year hiatus with lots of learning under my belt, and kind of showcasing off now 3 years later how I hoped I could have done it 3 years ago. So thanks for checking it out. So I do one more little quick part to this. Let's see how it does with 6 pounds, 8.5 ounces. I can fit it all into the back of the box here. That's a pretty hefty amount of weight I think I got in the back of that. I'll see how this does. I don't know if it's going to lift it. I haven't tried it yet. Oh, man. Tiny little bit of strain, but I'm going to tip the load out there. But lifts it fine. That's a lot of weight, so wow, I'm impressed. I should be able to tip a full load of dirt, no problem. That's awesome.